Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and as you can see, today we are going back to the drawing board and talking about the McFarlane drawing board crowdfunding campaign that was done last year. These are all of the superpowers offerings during that drawing board campaign, and it was the crowdfunding that turned out to not really be a crowdfunding, as we could see with all of these ending up going up on sale on the McFarlane toy store, the vehicles showing up in stores before the crowdfunding backers were even sent their items. So there was some frustration going on there. My personal feeling on that whole situation is I'm not at all upset about it. And the reason why is if this had been any other company, if they had done a crowdfunding campaign that didn't reach goal, you just never would have seen these. So to give McFarlane a lot of credit, we all got this. We all had the opportunity to get this, and it offers more people a chance to get their hands on these. Now, I can certainly understand the frustration of not getting your items before these started showing up in stores, but you know, it's kind of the way that McFarlane is a lot of times. The distribution and shipping is all kinds of wonky, all kinds of crazy, so you kind of learn to roll with it. But these are in hand, and they have been in hand for a little while. We're going to walk through them with you guys, give you our review and ratings on each of these sets. So we'll start with the Sea Saucer, Manta, and Aquaman set, move over to the Multicraft, Batman, and Robin. We also can see the very cool card that came with the set. Now, I did not get anything else, and I've seen some other people were getting a little poster that had this, like the Superpowers team signed by all the heroes. That did not come in either of my sets, and I only got one of these cards, even though I ordered 2 sets. And we have seen that there have been some others who ordered, you know, various levels and tiers of the crowdfunding, didn't get all of the items that everyone else is getting. So probably just a shortage on some of those, unfortunately. I didn't order these for those cards. I ordered them for the figures in the vehicle, so I'm not too upset about that. But the card that I got is very cool. So we'll go ahead and start, as I said, with the Aquaman and Manta set first. And let's go ahead and start with Aquaman. So we can see that the packaging on this Aquaman, I think, is pretty much the same as the packaging on all the Aquaman that have been released so far. This one is kind of more of the same color scheme as the original Wave 4 Aquaman, but it has the black trunks painted on and a little bit different color hair, as we'll see when we get him out of the package to take a closer look at him. Pause if you'd like to read anything on the back. We will show you the UPC code, but as far as I know, none of the actual figures have been showing up in store. It has only been the vehicle showing up in store. The figures are only available currently online when you order through the McFarlane toy store. So with all of that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get Mr. Arthur Curry out of the package here and take a look at Aquaman up close and personal. And we've got our crowdfunding Aquaman out of the package, and personally, this was not one of the figures within the set that I was the most excited about. It's just another Aquaman, same head sculpt, same long hair, same beard. Definitely would have been cool if they had done, you know, kind of the short hair, if they were doing the Filmation Super Friends cartoon, that kind of thing. But you kind of expected it when you saw the digital renderings and it was still the long hair Aquaman. It was just going to be a straight repaint. But not my favorite figure of this 4-figure set, of course. Although I do like the coloring on this one a lot better than that Wave 4 Aquaman. A lot more vibrant, a lot more Super Friends style. I think we've talked off camera. That first Wave 4 Aquaman, just, it almost looks bootleg when you look at the other ones that they've come after, even though it's the same figure, just the paint makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, huge paint difference. This one's really kind of just faded or something like that, you know, no vibrant colors like either of these others, so yeah.
Nothing, yeah. This Aquaman definitely has a much blonder look than the other ones, or I should say kind of a cartoony blonder look. Brighter orange on the shirt than the other Aquaman. And of course, as I mentioned before, the black trunks and the black boots a la the cartoon. So not a lot new to say about this Aquaman. It is the same figure, but I can say that I would say probably of the 3 so far, my second favorite. I still really like the gold Aquaman that has that kind of shiny metallic look to it. To me, that one just pops the most, looks the best out of all 3 of them. But this comes in a very close second because it kind of does take you back to like Filmation, Super Friends.
Yeah, I agree with you on the order, but I don't think it's a very close second. I mean, it's definitely second. This guy's definitely like last.
It's a lot closer to second than this guy is.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm with you. The gold is the best. That one would have been amazing had they actually gone with the short hair.
The short hair. Yeah, I saw online a lot of people saying if they had just taken like that original Superman head sculpt, put that on there, cool. paint it with the blonde hair, that would have looked really cool. I know there's some customizers out there probably already thinking about or have done that, so that would make this figure a very, very good figure. As it stands right now, it's fine. It's you know, nothing great, nothing bad. I'm not upset about it.
He comes in second place.
He comes in second place. So we'll give him our Just BSing ranking. For me, yeah, it's like a not BS.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that.
It's not bad, it's not good.
It's there, it's
there. It's Aquaman. It's Aquaman. You can tell who it is. All right, now we'll move on to the Black Manta. And now this Black Manta, again, it's just another repaint of the other two Black Manta that came before him, but this one in the very cool Filmation colors. I like those a lot, kind of that two-toned, it's kind of blue and purple, and the amber eyes that are on his helmet, which I really actually like quite a bit. Again, same packaging. This is just you know, the same Black Manta packaging that has come with the other Black Mantas, with a photoshopped image of Black Manta on the front, so you can tell the different colors on him. Again, pause if you'd like to read anything on the back. Take a look at the UPC code in case they ever put these guys in stores. And we'll go ahead and get this Black Manta out of the package, take a look at him a little bit closer. And here's our very Filmation style Black Manta right here in the flesh. And yeah, I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. This was one of the things I was really, really excited to see. I like this color scheme. This was the one I remembered more than the original Super Friends color scheme for, like, in my head. That's why I was like, that original Super Friends didn't like quite hit the mark as well for me. And it was because I was remembering this color scheme from the Filmation cartoon. So for me, this Black Manta definitely hits all the right marks.
Well, I'm glad it's hitting all the marks for you, because honestly, I forgot all about this one. But I do like it a lot. I do like this color scheme.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me more of Skeletor, which is kind of cool.
I can see that. Yeah, it's got the same exact color scheme as Skeletor, yeah.
But I dig those amber eyes. That's really cool.
Yeah.
The little black gloves like that. It's a very cool looking figure.
I agree. I really like the black suit Black Manta, but I think this one might top it for me just for nostalgia purposes only. That Super Friends one, like I said, for whatever reason, this was the one that was in my head when I think Super Friends. I know it's a completely different era, different cartoon, but that's the one that I had in my head. So this is the one for me. Yeah, I guess, I mean, not much else to say. Again, just these are more repaints, so there's not a whole lot else to say about them. We can go ahead and give them our ranking. I'll start for me. I think it's so good. I do. I like all of the Black Mantas, and I like this one, like I said, probably tops the list for me, so it's definitely going to be a so good.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's a so good for me as well. I really like how they did a lot of different colors, like especially with his air tank and the tubes, where these two are black, this one's actually blue.
Yeah.
And just how they incorporated like a lot of different colors, where these guys were kind of just more of the solid colors. So that's really cool to actually we're able to give him more details.
Yeah, definitely more colorful than the other two. Like you said, these are kind of a little bit more monochromatic, and this one is, he's got some color going. This is straight out of the 60s. That's straight out of the 60s. So,
but yeah, he's cool. So good for me. But for me, I'm going to put him in the middle, the two of them. I still like the full black.
Yeah,
as the best. But this guy is the new number 2.
And depending on the day, that my opinion might change too. Because that black one is also because he's got the red eyes. I like that just as much. So, all right, well, now we can get to the actual star of the Manta set, which is going to be the Manta Sea Saucer. We can take a look at the packaging on the Sea Saucer, and as always, the Superpowers packaging is very cool. And what I do like, and I didn't point it out earlier when we were looking at the figures on card, is it does say Crowdfund, like the little sticker on the back. So it does distinguish it from like a wave or something like that. They do distinguish that these are crowdfunded items. And I do think it's pretty cool that these actually all came carded separately, that they weren't in just a box wrapped up in paper or something like that. You get your own card, you can display them on card with the rest of your Superpowers collections, and it's all still going to look very good. And this Manta Sea Saucer is no exception. It's got very cool vehicle packaging, as all of the vehicles have. I'm excited to get this one out of the package. Here is the UPC code for that one as well, by the way, since those are showing up in stores. Most of the stores that they're showing up in are GameStop, so if you're in GameStop, these are probably going to be your best bet to find. Again, I don't think any of the figures have shown up yet in GameStop, but the vehicles have been showing up plentifully all over the United States, and they are still, as of this recording, available on the McFarlane toy store. So if you didn't crowdfund and you're feeling some FOMO watching this video, go take a look, check it out. But we're gonna go ahead and get this sea saucer out of the package, take a look at what we're working with. And here we have our Manta sea saucer out of the package. Man, that looks really cool. It definitely looks like a Manta.
It does.
Definitely looks like Manta. This is very cool, and what I like about it is, you know, the Superpowers blue is very abundant in all of the vehicles. This one's slightly different and more matte. So this is a more matte color, and it is the color of Black Manta's suit. So that's really cool that you get kind of a more specific vehicle to Black Manta. And it's got a couple of little features here, and one of those is you press this little lever on top, opens up, and there's Black Manta inside piloting that ship. And what I think is very cool, a little Easter egg, if you look at the screen on the inside, you get a little picture of Aquaman riding his Aqua jet ski. And it is the Aquaman from the Super Friends or the Filmation show, which is very cool.
With short hair, no beard.
With short hair, no beard, yeah, unfortunately. It would be funny if they kind of photoshopped him with longer hair and a beard just to kind of make it match the set. But no, it is the actual correct looking Aquaman from the Super Friends and Filmation show. Thought that was really cool that they put that little detail in there. He's got the steering wheel that kind of looks like a ram's head.
I'm gonna go with Skeletor's staff.
Skeletor's staff also very, very much looks like Skeletor's staff. Good call there. Got the yellow eyes on the Manta front there. I guess those are the headlights. And the other feature that I think is also very cool is, I'm not gonna do this on camera so we don't get the sound, but you'll see it in the B-roll. There are 2 missiles that drop down out of the bottom, and they are shaped like sharks. So
that's
those are
really cool.
Yeah, those are really cool. And the way to get those missiles to fall is you press the, I guess, jet propulsion on the back, and those will pop out. And the way that they're held in, they just clip right back in, and they stay in. They're not falling out when you're not intending them to. You can shake it, they don't fall out. I love this. This was, you know, along with the other vehicle in the set that we'll get to very soon. These are the stars of the show for these crowdfunding items, for sure.
Yeah, so this is another great looking vehicle. It's one of my favorites, actually, just because it's something that's completely different.
I agree.
And I think every other vehicle has really just been, well, besides Brainiac, just been Batman related. So
pretty well. We have the Invisible Jet. We have the Supermobile. But yeah. I
just keep forgetting about those.
I think kind of what you probably meant was like along the villain side.
Yeah.
We only have the Brainiac skull ship and the Panic in the Sky version of that. So basically the same ship, just painted differently. So this is pretty cool to get another Legion of Doom member in a specific vehicle. So that is very nice. Now, obviously in the Kenner line, we had other vehicles that were villain specific, like the Lexor and that Darkseid Destroyer that's way too big for anyone's house. But this is a nice manageable size and it looks very cool. So I'm very pleased with this one. We'll rank this one. I think it's pretty obvious what we're gonna rank this one. It's gonna be a So Good.
So Good.
Yeah, definitely a So Good. I think anyone, if you haven't picked this up yet, you will be very pleased with it when you do. And I do know also, these are still shipping out. The crowdfunds are still, as of this recording, I'm still seeing people, you know, either getting their orders in or getting notifications that they're still shipping. So they are still working through all of those. If you haven't gotten it yet, be patient. You're gonna get it and you're gonna love this one. I guarantee it. And now we can get into the Batman stuff, and we'll go ahead and start with Robin. And we have our carded Robin here. We'll take a look at the 360 on the packaging there. Of course, pause if you'd like to read anything on the back. What's interesting is this is the Tim Drake mold, but this is the Dick Grayson Robin, according to the back of the card. Robin the Boy Wonder, and it is Dick Grayson. So the picture on the front also corroborates that. Definitely that's Dick Grayson's Robin. Pretty interesting that they didn't go with the kind of newer Jason Todd mold for this one, since that one does look a little bit more like Dick Grayson. But my thought is, since these were kind of already in the works long before Wave 10 came out, they probably didn't have that mold ready yet. So they had to use the Tim Drake mold and improvise a little bit. So while it's not ideal, it's all right. It still looks like a decent Dick Grayson Robin. So I'll point it out here, since I didn't before, it does say Crowdfund on the back. There's the UPC code in case these do show up in stores. And we'll go ahead and get this very Tim Drake looking Dick Grayson Robin out of the package. Take a look at him in the flesh. And here's our Dick Grayson Robin out of the package. And yeah, that's just a straight repaint of the Tim Drake. Although they did a pretty good job as far as the repainting goes in kind of making the bare legs and the slit open there at the top. It is painted, it's not, there's no texture there or anything like that, but they did a good job with the repaint and making it look a lot more like Dick Grayson than obviously the original Tim Drake paints would have it look. Definitely would have preferred shorter boots for this one. I do think in the Filmation cartoon, if I remember correctly, The boots were a little bit taller, definitely not that tall. So little bit of a ding there for having those kind of almost Superman-sized boots there, but not too bad, not too bad.
So does this kind of represent the Filmation, like Robin, like with the cape and everything too?
The cape is long, the cape is a bit long. I do like that they went with the two-tone. I think that's pretty cool. The first kind of individual figure of Robin that actually had the right two-tone cape. Because remember on the Tim Drakes, they didn't ever have the two-tone and they were always the wrong color. Ended up going to Cape Master to correct that situation. So we do have a good looking two-toned cape here. Still a bit of a long cape, but as we pointed out in our Wave 10 video, we've got some great capes from the Cape Master that we can correct that situation with too. Get a bit of a shorter, more accurate cape going for the Dick Grayson. But as far as the look of the outfit and everything like that, yeah, other than the boots, not too bad, not too far off.
Yeah, and the only thing I would have really liked to have seen them do is basically take the head sculpt from the cowless Batman and use that hairstyle on there, because that was Robin's hairstyle.
That hairstyle would have worked better on him, although I'm not sure that face would have been good for Robin.
we could paint a mask on him.
We could paint a mask on. He'd look like Don Rickles as Robin, which would be great. Yeah, I could see that. This is definitely more of a Tim Drake hairstyle.
Yeah, I think
sure.
just that hairstyle would have been
kind of throwing it off, This is, again, kind of like the Aquaman. This wasn't one of the figures that I was excited to get when I saw the crowdfunding campaign. It was just one that it was like, all right, it comes with it. That's pretty cool. Another Robin to add to the collection. Probably won't be the Dick Grayson Robin that if I'm displaying my figures that I will use. I'll probably either be using the Jason Todd or I'll be using the Toy Biz, or when I finally track one down, the original Kenner Robin. But this is a cool one to have. This could be, an alternate look for Tim Drake or something like that, however you want to use it.
That's true.
Not at all upset about it. But it is not going to be one of my favorites of the line. And as we can see with the comparisons here, man, I really think that new Jason Todd is really good. And I think if this mold had been ready when these were all put together, that's probably the mold that they would have gone with. It just makes the most sense. So unfortunately, it just came out a little bit too late to make it work for the crowdfunding campaign. But yeah, like I said, not too upset about it. What do you have any additional thoughts on this Robin?
No, pretty much everything we were covering. I do like the cape. I think the cape is pretty much
those capes are great.
This is stealing the show for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the card art was amazing on it. I think the card art is better than the figure itself.
I agree.
The cape is really nice, though. I like this a lot. But overall, yeah, it's just kind of another Robin. He's not going to be ranked very high for me.
No. He won't be ranked very high for me either, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So we'll go ahead and give him our rankings. It's not a great representation of Dick Grayson, but it is not a terrible figure. So I'm kind of leaning between not BS and BS. My gut says because it's supposed to be Dick Grayson, doesn't really resemble Dick Grayson that well, give it the BS, but I like the figure itself because we really like those Tim Drake figures. I'm reconsidering. I'm going to go not BS on this one.
Yeah, I was thinking not BS pretty much the whole time on it.
Okay.
Pretty much just for those same type of reasons. Yeah. You said BS, I was like, ooh, that's a little harsh, I think.
It was a little harsh. To understand the viewpoints of the people that are upset about this one, this does not look like Dick Grayson Robin to the full extent. And like you were talking about, because a lot of people are probably going to be displaying these on card, since they are kind of like special edition type of things, that card art is great. So it looks actually better on card than it does out of the package. So yeah, not BS. All right, now we can get to the figure that I was the most excited about, and that's going to be the Batman. And we have the card art for this special edition crowdfund Batman. Very familiar picture there of Batman. It's been used on a lot of the other cards, including the original Kenner, kind of photoshopped with the darker colors, which is very cool. We can take a look on the back. Pause if you'd like to read any of that. Don't think it says anything too different than things you've already seen about Batman in the past. Got the crowdfund sticker and the UPC code for those of you who are hoping these might show up in stores. And as I said, even though this is yet another repaint, this was one that I was very excited about. We'll get him out of the package and I'll talk a little bit about why. All right, we got another classic detective version of Batman out of the package here, and these are darker colors, and as we got some of these other Batman here to compare him to, but we see he is a darker gray than the original classic Detective Batman from Wave 4 that was released, also a darker blue. Got, I think, about the same color gray as the Wave 10 Unmasked Batman, still a darker blue than that Batman has, and also a darker gray than the gray and black version of Batman that thus far has been our favorite version of the classic Detective Batman. So why I like this one so much, and it's not even so much that it kind of matches Filmation or anything like that, because really kind of any of the blue and gray versions of Batman are going to match that pretty well. They had varying colors in, you know, those old cartoons. Color palettes were always kind of skewed. Sometimes they were darker, sometimes they were lighter. But what I really like about this one is it reminds me so much of the Iron Winch Batman from the Dark Knight collection in the 90s. It had that kind of darker blue and gray, and that was the only gray and blue Batman from that line. So when I wasn't using the all black Michael Keaton, you know, kind of the standard Batman, that was my go-to Batman, and I really love that figure. Probably one of my favorite Batman figures of all time, and this one just harkens back to that one so well. It's not exact, it's not the exact same colors or anything like that, but it just as soon as I saw him, it reminded me of that. But this Batman is great. It's still got the shadow on the mask, so you get kind of the black shadowing on the mask, kind of a more of a kind of an orangey yellow on the belt and the symbol than the other Batman have. And again, another really well done two-toned cape. And these capes have just gotten so much better from when McFarlane first started putting this line out. Honestly, I think these Crowdfund capes are probably the best capes so far. So give them props for doing that. These are awesome capes. Love that two-tone cape on this one. Yeah, just an overall great Batman to me.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at when he was in the package. I couldn't really tell if that was the two-tone black cape like that. I was hoping it was.
Yeah.
As soon as we got him out, I was like, yes, that's so cool, because I'm in 100% agreement with you. It's amazing that they did with these capes. They're the stars of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, gonna have to call Cape Master and get some two-tone capes for the other Batman now, because that's gonna make those other Batman just not look as good.
Yeah, exactly. And they probably took inspiration from Cape Master.
I told Cape Master, I said, you need to send them a copyright notice for, you know, just doing everything that you've already been doing for years at this point.
Yeah, and I really like these because on some of the other Batman capes, the ends with like kind of like frill, you know, kind of.
Yeah, you can see that happening on this one. It kind of rolls up pretty easily.
And I think the last two capes, even the Batman Unmasked, that one's not doing it too much, and then this one doesn't seem to be doing it either. So.
These are definitely getting higher quality as the line goes on.
And they're almost reverting back to how the capes were back in, you know, our day.
Yeah.
You know? So this is, like I said, another really great Batman figure. It's funny, like we've gone through the Aquaman and Black Manta and Robin's like another repaint. I like this one repaint a lot. I mean,
yeah, me too. Like, that's what I said. I know it's another repaint, but it's done really, really well and in great colors. I mean, it looks fantastic. And I've always been, like, I know to a lot of superpowers collectors, it's almost kind of sacrilege to say, like, this lighter blue and lighter gray color scheme, it never really was my favorite look for Batman. I, enjoyed it in the cartoons and things like that, in the movie verses and in newer cartoons.
And Adam West.
The darker blue and a little bit darker gray, or the all black or the black and gray. Those were always looks that I personally preferred. I know you're kind of in the same boat on that.
Yeah.
So this one, it hits all the marks for me. It's putting up a really good fight against that black and gray version as my favorite right now, and I'm not real sure which one is my favorite at this point. They may be tied.
They're tied for me, man, honestly, just because I wasn't really expecting, too much out of that. And then, I don't know, the cape is just really doing it for me.
That cape is great.
Just the colors that they picked out for it, I love it.
It just works. It just works really well. We'll give it our ranking. I think everyone knows what the ranking is. It's so good. It's so good. And it is probably tied for the black and gray version for our favorite so far. So don't shoot us light blue and gray fans of Batman. It's all opinion and we all have different ones. So those are our opinions. But now this is the actual, I think, star of this entire thing. We're getting to the Bat Multicraft, which is very cool. And here again, very, very cool packaging for the Bat Multicraft. And just goes right along with all of the other Batman vehicles. If you've been collecting all of the Batman vehicles, especially the ones, in the classic Kenner blue and orange scheme. It's going to fit right in. Once we get it out of the package, we'll take a look at some of the comparisons with the Bat's vehicles as well. Just looks really, really good. Go ahead and take a look at the UPC code if you guys are still looking for that one. And these are, again, the Sea Saucer and this Bat Multicraft have been found in stores at GameStops all over the place. So if you ordered, haven't gotten it yet, or if you're still on the hunt, check out your local GameStops. You might get lucky and find a couple of these vehicles. We'll go ahead and get this guy out of the package because this was the one that I was the most excited about for the entire campaign. It's really why I backed everything. And here's our Bat Multicraft out of the package, fully assembled. This one was fairly easy to assemble, and if you know our history assembling things, it's a miracle that we got it all put together in one go, but really all you have to do is pop in these two side wings here and the tail wing, then you're good to go. And
the tail's been the issue
the tail has been
on two different
on
vehicles.
two different vehicles. Yeah. Well, we're getting better as we get
better.
We're getting better as we get older. But no, this is so very cool and spot on to what it looked like in the Super Friends cartoon. I don't know if you remember seeing this in the cartoon itself.
I do remember that.
So it's a multi-craft because it is, I believe, a boat, a submarine, and an aircraft. So it can kind of do it all except for drive on pavement, which is what the Batmobile is for. Yeah, again, just, taking a look at it with some of the other vehicles, just spot on to the colors, those classic Kenner blue and orange colors. And just like the past vehicles, this one pops open. There's a almost hidden. This one doesn't stand out quite as much as other ones, but there is a button right on the front, same color as the rest of the ship. Pop that open.
Nice and smooth.
It pops open nice and smooth. This is probably one of the smoothest canopies that they have done so far. It is a two-seater, so they can both fit very well. And here is another feature that I thought was very cool. You press down on the tail and you get jets popping out of the back. That is so awesome. Love that.
Yeah. I saw that on the package.
Yeah.
When we had it right here, I didn't see them. And I was like, okay, that's kind of odd that they would really detail the flames on the box, but then not have it here. So that's really cool. I like that.
No, this is awesome. I love this one quite a bit. Like I said, this was the one when I saw it, I was like, that's the whole reason to back this campaign right there. Yeah, it's just fantastic. And I love how accurate. I mean, it is just so accurate to the cartoon.
Yeah, having this out right now, this is pretty much my favorite vehicle that they've came out with. They did have some really good ones, but this one just takes the cake. I like a lot of the different features that it has on there, how it looks, how well Batman and Robin sit in there, how accurate it is from the cartoons. I love the little bat steering wheel.
As always, yep, they got the bat steering wheel in there. All of the stickers already in, as we've said many times. We really appreciate that they do that for all us old people that have bad eyes now and can't figure out stickers like that we used to be able to do when we were kids.
Yeah, and I have some Lego sets that you still have to put Legos on, and I still mess them up. So yes, appreciate the stickers already coming on these already.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure if this one, it's very close. I still think the Bug is probably my favorite overall.
It is a good one.
Yeah, but just the sheer size of that one and how it can almost be a playset too. But this one, man, definitely a very close second. I like this one so much. If it's not obvious, we're going to give this one a so good as well.
So let me rephrase that, though. I meant of the Batman.
Yes, of the Batman,
Of the Batman. This one's my favorite.
I tell you.
Blue Beetle, I'm with you on
100%, yeah. This is just a fantastic vehicle. The most Super Friends accurate of all of the vehicles so far. Love it to death. So let's go ahead and get our entire crowdfunding wave out here, take a look at everything, and then we will rank the entire crowdfunding set as a whole, since we've given everything its individual ratings as a whole set. I think it's so good. I think this is a so good set. I understand there's frustrations from a lot of people with the way things are, it's just repaints, but the vehicles, man, they're the standouts here, and I think that they drive up the rating for everything here. That Batman is amazing. That Manta is very cool, especially if you're a fan of the Filmation cartoons. So I don't think I could give it any less than a so good.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on the so good rating for these. Even though Robin was a not BS for us, like you were saying, the Batcraft, what's it called?
Multicraft.
Multicraft, thank you. It really brings it up, but I just do love the two capes though that they also have. So.
I mean, you could definitely leave out the Aquaman and the Robin, and I think this would have been a completely stronger set.
Oh yeah.
But I am not going to not getting 2 extra figures.
Right.
Essentially. And again, a lot of people were kind of, I guess, a little bit frustrated about these no longer being really exclusive. They were being sold in stores, or they were being offered on the McFarlane toy store even after they were crowdfunded. And I kind of explained my reasoning why I'm not upset about that at the beginning of the video. But also your benefit for backing the crowdfunding is you paid a whole lot less for. So for all of these, for the entire set, so I got the $75 tier. There were ones that were higher that came with like autographs from Todd McFarlane and stuff. Didn't really need any of those or a t-shirt or anything. But just essentially for all of the vehicles and all 4 figures, you paid $75. Now, if you're buying them on the McFarlane Toy Store, it's $100 for all 4 of them, or you're paying more for the separate vehicles or the separate sets. So you paid a lot less if you backed the crowdfunding. You still got it. I mean, they obviously the shipping has been kind of in phases and things like that. They're still shipping out, but you were guaranteed to get them. You paid a whole lot less for it. So you still get quite a bit, of a good benefit from having backed the crowdfunding campaign.
The only other thing I was thinking of is on these crowdfunding versus just the McFarlane releases, you mentioned that they had the crowdfunding on the box itself. So yeah. I wonder if they're going to have those on the ones that are at GameStop or...
Yeah. So as far as the vehicles, I don't know if those are showing up with the stickers, the crowdfunding, stickers in store. I don't know if you buy the figures from McFarlane Toy Store, if they still have the crowdfunding sticker. Guys, if you didn't crowdfund and you purchased your vehicles or action figures from the McFarlane Toy Store, let us know if it still has that sticker on there, because it would be interesting to know if they're still calling those crowdfunding.
Right, exactly.
If they're selling those versions retail.
It's crowdfunding from GameStop.
So you're crowdfunding from GameStop. So it would be kind of cool to know if they are still kind of giving that little extra exclusivity to the people that crowdfunded, or if everyone's getting the same sticker when they order, regardless of where they order from. So let us know down in the comments if you have purchased from McFarlane Toy Store. Let us know what you think about all of these. Do our rankings match yours? They probably don't. They rarely do. And we know you guys will let us know what you think about all of these figures and vehicles in the comments below, and we want to hear from you. So until next time, guys, I think our next video up is actually going to be one that we recorded a long time ago now. This was before I hurt my back in the video I was working on when I hurt my back and I wasn't able to finish it. We're going to get it finished. It's going to go up next week. It is the DC Multiverse Christopher Reeve Superman and the Platinum version of that Superman, the evil Superman from Superman 3. That was a fun couple of figures. We'll get that video finished up, get that up for you guys next week, and then we've got some more stuff on tap for you as soon as we get a chance.
Yeah, and go check out our Instagram for some of the sneak peeks of those Christopher Reeve figures. Those, Steven did some really good shots with those.
Getting some fun stuff up there. So yeah, it compared it to Hot Toys and all kinds of stuff. We'll definitely be posting more on Instagram as well. So if you are not following us, please do, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Have a great one, guys.